Welcome to Scale Her Up, the show for female business owners and leaders who want to grow profitable, sustainable businesses without burning out. I'm Dr. Brenda Hector, a business growth specialist helping women develop themselves and their businesses so they can achieve their goals and enjoy the lifestyle they dream of. In each episode, you'll hear inspiring stories, honest conversations, and practical strategies to help you start, grow, or scale your business. If you're new here, hit follow so you don't miss an episode, and come and join our Facebook community, our Scale Her Up Facebook community, to keep the conversation going. So, in conversation today, I'm really pleased to have Debbie Mitchell with me. Debbie is the director at Athol Scott Financial Services. Debbie, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's really great to have you. So let's just start with Athol Scott Financial Services then. Tell us a bit about the business, what it is you do.
Okay, so we're independent financial advisors, financial planners, as it's often referred to now. The business grew off the back of a chartered accountancy firm that's been in Aberdeen, active in Aberdeen for, oh my goodness, now it must be 60 plus years. And we have grown over that time to service predominantly small business owners and individuals in all aspects of personal and corporate management.
Okay, so was it like a spin out from the accountancy practice then?
Yeah, it's going back quite some time now. In 1988, the rules changed around financial planning. It became much more heavily regulated. And if your business, if you were an accountancy firm or a legal firm and your business derived more than a set percentage from regulated financial planning activity, you had to have a separate company. So it became a separate company in 1988. I joined in 1992 and effectively just got rid of everybody and took over a long period of time, I hasten to add. So yes, it was very much built on the back of the firm's accountancy clients. And in fact, that level of advice was provided to them. And then, of course, it grew. And now perhaps we share about 40% of our clients, but just as a business grows, your client bank grows too.
So tell me about your journey then from 1992 to today. What did you join us? What was your role?
So I joined in 1992 as, I think the term they used at the time was an administrator. I had worked in another broking firm in Aberdeen at that point and just felt like a change. Joined in 92, I was part qualified at that point, then became professionally qualified because that helped the business, and changed my role completely a couple of years later. And then in 1999, a sunny September day, the 2/3 of the staff disappeared because there were 3 of us at that point, my boss, his wife who did the admin, and me, and they left one September, Tuesday morning. I'll remember it forever. And so my life changed completely overnight.
So did you know that was happening? It was,
No,
oh goodness.
no, it was an oh my goodness moment. It was, I went into work as usual. The business was owned by the partners in the CA firm. And they called me up and said, would name names, he's left. Obviously his wife's gone too. And so you're a director and this will happen. So that was interesting. That we'll leave it at interesting. There was lots of tears, a significant amount of wine. And so that first month was really challenging. My sister would finish work at 5 o'clock, drive to my office, do all my admin for me for 4 hours. My husband would finish work. He was in charge of pizzas and kebabs and filing. That was a very important job back in those days. And and then I just had to employ staff. Thankfully, I did. Thankfully, I employed some good staff, and the business started from then, from my perspective, and grew. And at this point, we employed 12 people, not 3. It was, and over that time as well, this is very much a plot history. It was clear that if I were going to run the business, I wanted a stake in the business. So after negotiation with the then owners, we just, over time, as time evolved, gradually bought the business from there.
So I'm just I'm coming back to that September day then.
Just the day that's printed in my brain.
Did they take clients with them? Was it
So yeah, some, maybe not as many as they thought they might. I think that the client loyalty was to the firm, and that's a lesson I learned very quickly. That clients certainly have always felt that they are clients of Athol Scott. They are not Debbie Mitchell clients or anybody else that works in the firm. They are very much, their loyalty is to the brand, the business. And I think that's a mistake that my former boss made. He did take some clients, 42. It's okay, got most of them back. But what we did was that the two partners in the CA firm and myself just phoned every client, explained what happened, that personal touch. I don't suppose now we would have been able to phone every client in that short period of time. The business is a lot bigger, but it was done personally. We made the call. This has happened. Business as usual. Debbie's still here. It's all going to be fine. And we managed to retain the vast majority of our clients. And as I said, of the clients that left, quite a number came back for the years.
So that's an interesting that I guess if somebody's listening going, that's what I want to do. I want my customers to feel that they're customers of the company rather than the name, because I guess that's what makes the company more valuable, that people are attached to the company. What would somebody need to do? Do you know what you did to make that the case?
Oh gosh, that's a brilliant question. And I don't know that I have the exact answer. I suppose it's a collection of lots of different things. It is brand, and it is, Athol Scott has always been run very much as a family. Because Athol, he was a person, he was a man, sadly no longer with us. Athol was a huge personality. So he was the business, and there was a great deal of loyalty, not just from clients, but from staff to Mr. Scott, as lots of people called him. I'm so allowed to call him Athol, special. But yeah, I think it was that we very consciously, I think, made clients feel part of a family, a collective. And I suppose that's the nub of it, is that they're buying into every brand starts with a person. It's what you've created, the brand you create, you invite your clients or your staff to buy into that. And that's where I think the loyalty is driven by. However, if you don't provide a great service, then they're going to go anyway. So why do people not leave? I think a lot of it's to do with, why should I? I'm perfectly content where I am at. Let's give them a shot. And if they mess it up, there's always somewhere else to go. So does that help at all?
Yeah. So if there's no dissatisfaction, then why would they? Yeah.
And I think that's where my former boss, I don't say that he made a mistake. I think that he had assumed that the clients were loyal to him. And I'm sure they were. He was a lovely man and great. But I think that there was a fear. If you're a client and you'd be perfectly content and everything's fine and we really enjoyed here and everybody's lovely and I get a nice cup of tea and that last day in reception's great. All of that is going in our head. Or I could move to something that I don't really understand. I don't know what will happen. And what if it doesn't work out, will Athol Scott take me back? I'm never having a conversation with a lady, and it sticks in my mind, it's a client to this day. And she said, I really don't want to let him down. I feel I should go with him. But what happens if it does? I said, why don't you just go? And if it doesn't work out for you, just come back. And I think that key, which never lands anyway. So I think there's partly there's the fear of the unknown. You're going to take, and especially what we do, financial planning is such a personal relationship. You entrust your financial planner with an enormous amount of information about you, about your family, about your hopes, dreams, aspirations. And that's a difficult thing to move away from. Yeah. Our clients are sticky is the word. They're not inclined to go. And if they go, it's inevitably because we've done something wrong.
I'm just thinking about the loyalty piece. The fact that they left overnight, that's not loyalty. And I guess that would feel uncomfortable for loyal customers to go, oh, yeah. So they papoose?
Yeah, I vividly remember the conversations that we had that, on that couple of days, the Tuesday and the Wednesday, when we called all the clients, and a lot of them were, oh, are you okay? That was, their response wasn't, it was more, God, that's terrible. Poor you. are you all right? You're getting some support and everything. Yeah. So I think it was just ill thought through personally. And then this is terrible. And I haven't mentioned any, but gosh, anybody who knows Athol Scott then would know, but that gentleman's business wasn't a massive success, but he did something, but he then went on to do something else and he was much happier in that. So no bad outcomes at all.
Yeah,
We're all still chums. I managed to get over it.
sounds like the best thing that could have happened for you.
Oh, goodness me, yes. However, I didn't feel like that at the time. No. At the time, as I said, genuinely, lots of tears. I can't do this. No way. No, my goodness, what will I do? But yeah, you don't know what's in you until you're up against it.
What they say, a woman's like a tea bag. You don't know how strong she is till you put her in hot water.
God, yeah.
Yes. Let's tell me then a bit more recently.
Yeah,
I'm aware that there's been some changes more
Yes,
recently.
certainly has. So I think it's something that I feel very strongly about because of the job I do, exit planning. Well, my clients, the vast majority of the work that I've done professionally over the last 35, 40 years has been planning for eventual retirement, or hate the word retirement, but for the time that, when you're no longer earning, amassing your resources so that you can have freedom in your later life. So because that's something that I am involved with other people, it is, of course, something that exercised my mind throughout my professional journey, more so than I suppose than most people. But I think it's something that every business person should be thinking about early doors. The when, how, why questions. Why would I want to? What would that look like? When's it going to happen? And how on earth am I going to achieve it? If we don't have that just at the back of our minds all the time, then you'll just be working forever. And lots of people do, and lots of people are absolutely delighted to do so. I've got some clients in their 80s that are still working away at the family business and are invaluable and useful and engaged. And that's great for them. It was never going to be for me. I always knew that at some point I can prove my success professionally by being able to do for myself what I have tried to do for my clients, if that makes more sense. Goodness, quite a few years ago now, my now business partner and I, there is an age difference between us. He's considerably younger than me. And we looked at all the various ways that he might rid himself of me. I say that in the nicest way. And it became clear, and we looked at all sorts of things, management buyout. We have approached our more senior staff. Would this be something that you would be interested in? But I'm afraid we became the victim of our own success, in that the business itself had grown to such an extent that it became commercially unviable for individuals to be looking at a purchase. So then we started looking at who might be out there that we would be comfortable with, and ended up speaking to, probably over the piece, maybe a dozen different firms, narrowing it down to a few that we felt we had ethical approval. Also, it's going to sound terrible for someone who's a financial planner. Money's never been my motivator. I enjoy success, and I enjoy the financial aspect of that. I enjoy seeing the business grow. I had the moment we hit 1 million turnover, nobody was more delighted than me. But it wasn't because, look, we've got £1 million turnover. It was, that demonstrates that what we're doing good enough to warrant people's trust in us and involvement with the firm. Anyway, I'm waffling a little bit. So we had probably about 4 offers on the table, and we took the lowest one financially. And that was because it much more aligned with our values, with our plans for the future. Company that eventually bought us, and it's happened over a long period of time, bought a bit of it and bought a little bit more and bought a little bit more, but we're there now. But they had the 3 C's, they called it. So it's clients, top of the list, which fitted with us. Colleagues, totally fitted with us. Compliance, absolutely. Compliance with the rules. doing things properly. So those things we hugely aligned, and it's selling your business is never easy because you've nurtured it and it's yours, it's your baby, and you letting that go and letting someone else call the shots. It's really tricky and challenging, but I'm there.
That's interesting because you're still there. You're still a director of the company. I guess they're coming to you for advice, and you've got all these years of experience, and your team is still there.
Yes, I think the being a director, I don't think it would be for much longer. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I'm necessary in the same way that I was. This is a process that's been going on for quite some years, but I like that those my former business partner, my kind of right hand woman who's taken on all my clients. I like her to know, especially that I'm here. If there's ever a question, she is completely fabulous and doing a great job. But just knowing that if something happens, she can pick up the phone and go, what will I do? That's important. Our business friends were planning to move in the not too distant future. I said, I'll come in and help pack up because there's bound to be all manner of rubbish I've left lying about. So that would be useful. And for as long as I am, I'm not necessary, but for as long as I am practically useful, I'm there to help. But I've got other things going on. So
yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. I want to, so if for someone else, for a listener or a viewer that's hoping to exit, what advice do you have then? What would be your nuggets that you would share?
Okay, so the first thing is to understand what it is that you need out. What's a good exit going to look like for you? Because it'll be completely different for everybody. That'd be number one, to just make sure you're maybe not going to absolutely achieve that, but at least have something. I always think write it down, because if you write it down, then it's more likely.
So is that a number? As a financial,
I don't know that I don't think I would start with a number. Yeah. I would start with, what does it look like? Am I just selling up and disappearing the next day? Am I looking for somebody to partner with and gradually I divest myself? Am I looking to just gradually lessen my involvement in the business? Get that in your own head first. I think the number thing is going to be the number is what you're willing to sell for and what somebody's willing to buy for. Like any transaction, whether you're selling a house or a pair of shoes in vintage, it's not something that you will necessarily have a great deal of control over. Trust your professional advisors, your accountant, your lawyer. They will be there. They're on your side. It's their job to ensure that you're getting the best outcome. I think that's many nuggets, but that's certainly, I think it's more important to ensure that it works for you as a structure rather than it works for you as a number, because the number is, to all intents and purposes, out with your control. You can dictate or you can certainly control what the number you're willing to accept is, but you can't really do much about what someone's prepared to pay for. So it's important. Of course, it's important, but I would start from there. I'd be starting from, what does it look like? And then how do we achieve it? And use
yeah, it's a lifestyle. How are you going to?
What's the point of this? Why are you leaving? Why do you want to leave? I want to leave because I want to travel the world. Great. When's that then? And know almost from the beginning, this sounds really ridiculous. You don't start up a business and then immediately think, like, how will we get out? But have that in the back of your head. What's the point of this? The point of having a business is for success and to do good in the world, to provide employment for people. All of those things are vitally important. And that's why we do it. And if the only driver you've got is, I want to build up this fantastic, brilliant, amazing, successful business to sell it for the most money that I could possibly do, that is absolutely fine. Great. Just know it's what you're trying to do. And then everything you're doing is going to eventually lead to that.
So how do you fill your time when you're not needed in the business any longer? I guess that's been a transition for you. So it's not like a hard stop. But how important is it to have something else?
I think it's vital. I have been absolutely blessed in my career to be dealing with people who are planning to and living in retirement. So I've seen lots and lots of role models. I've seen how maybe not to do it and how to do it. The most important thing is to make sure you've got structure in your day, and the structure in your day might be get up, walk the dog, do the garden, watch telly, make dinner, go to bed. That's great. That's your structure. But having an idea of what it looked like. I'm always been a super busy person. I've always done lots of things. I'm a volunteer. I'm the girl who can't say no. So my days, certainly, I don't struggle to fill them. Before I stopped working, I became involved with our professional body, the Chartered Insurance Institute, working representing Scotland on various forums, and then 6 years ago joining the board. I also served on the board of the Personal Finance Society, which is a subsidiary of the CII. So I've been really busy with that. I also volunteer in the chair of the Board of Trustees for the North East Scotland Performing Arts. I have absolutely no performing arts talent, but I can run a festival, as it turned out. So yeah, I'm busy, and I love to travel, got friends all over the world. So it's very nice to have the time to do that.
So tell me about so you're deputy president of the Chartered Insurance Institute, and next year you're going to take on the role of president. Is that right? Yeah.
I will be president for the calendar year 2027. Yeah. I'm currently serving as deputy. So that's a role, I have to say, it shocked the bejesus out of me when someone approached me and said they'd really like president. Why? I suppose because I'm a financial planner, and there's not been a president that's been a financial planner. They're inclined to be heads of big insurers and internationally well-known people. And so I'm not well-known, but I do appreciate that I bring something different, a bit of diversity. We love a bit of diversity. And that's a pretty full-on job. There's 120,000 members worldwide. So there's going to be a lot of travel, not least of which throughout the UK. I'm really looking forward to it. I like a challenge. And currently trying to figure out how to get to Lincoln, that sort of thing. There's some super glamorous places that may be on the cards, and I'm just going to love being out, meeting as many members as possible. It's very much a figureheady position. There's not a great deal of speech making and handshaking and what have you, but I'll enjoy it. I'll get to get some frocks, I think. And so that was nice.
You mentioned diversity, and the Scale Her Up is all about encouraging women in business and getting them to take a senior role. I guess your industry has been fairly male heavy. Yeah.
For many years, I was the only girl in the room. You hear this phrase all the time, but for a long time, I was the only girl in the room. It is hugely gratifying for me now to never be the only girl in the room. It's just lovely. It's still not enough. 18% of financial planners are female. It's ridiculous. I feel really strongly about that. In fact, in September, I'm going to speak at an event which is encouraging career returners, which are predominantly women, obviously, into financial services, because it is the most flexible job you could get, because it can work around. It's not a job where you're sitting at an office 9 to 5, although it's a lot of that. It's a job that can fit around childcare needs, older parent needs, as was my case at both ends when my son's just 21. So running the business when I literally had a papoose strapped to my front and filling in our professional indemnity insurance when he was weeks old. I remember that vividly, through to when my mum and my dad were needing a lot of care. The business can work, or your job can work around it. So it's ideally suited for women with other concerns. So I feel really strongly about that. I think it's ridiculous that still so few. A lot of that's the fault of the impression people have of what we do, because it is seen almost as it's a technical job. It's about numbers and number crunching and doing complicated sums, and it absolutely isn't. Ultimately, this is a job about being able to listen, to being empathetic, to understanding what people really mean when they're talking to you, some really good communication skills. All of these are female traits. I feel really passionately about that. As I said, it's getting better, but we've still got a long way to go.
And I guess also attached to that is the state of women's financial independence, or,
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And again, that's getting better. But so long, especially when I was really young and started out, I would be in meetings with the husband, the head of the household, and then occasionally, and I would say, and is your wife not coming to meeting, or she's not interested? Would she not be interested in your finances? That's insane. Of course she's interested. Let's get along next time. And because I'm a woman, I insisted on it and got a lot more. However, in saying that, I've noticed a real change in the last 20 years where more and more women in partnerships are in charge of the money there. And so, of course, I was brought up by a very strong independent woman, and my mother had complete control over the family finances. And I'm seeing that, but it's been too long. Career breaks and all the rest of it has meant that women's financial resilience is much worse than men's. And if there's a long way to go in getting women to do this job, there's an even longer way to go to getting that addressed. But one will follow the other. If there's more women doing this job, more women will be looked after because it's just going to naturally follow. Got quite evangelical about it, but it's really important. There are 12 people in our organisation now, and only one of them's a man. Bless him. I don't know how he copes, but he does. because I hate the expression, but it's true. Monkey see, monkey do. If you see someone that looks like you doing that job, then you can do it. And if it's much more difficult, I didn't think I could do it. I didn't. Way back in 1994 or whatever, when I became qualified, and I remember my boss, Athol, being really quite concerned about me going into meeting with men. Will you be all right? Do you think you should have someone with you?
Goodness. So never mind that you had imposter syndrome. He was feeding that as well.
Yes. And I've maybe twice in all my years been uncomfortable in meeting and was easily addressed, just didn't see them again. But yeah, I'm old enough now not to really hear, but I have strong memories of thinking, I can't do this. Even now, just said when I was approached to do not because I'm a woman, I just didn't think, me? I'm not that, and I'm not that. What, I'm just me. I'll do the best I can. And I think that's what they're bringing. That's what they know they're bringing the role, that whatever's needed, I'll do it.
Oh, fantastic. Brilliant messages to all of my listeners and the Scale Her Up community. Thank you. Is there anything else I should have asked you, Debbie, that I haven't? Anything you want to add to the conversation?
Oh, gosh. That's a good question. And really throwing me not many questions through. I don't think so. I think that all I wanted to get across from doing this, and I am so thrilled to be asked to do this, is that absolutely believe in yourself. You are so able, so capable, so brilliant. Success will follow. And of course, hard work is important, but self-belief is what's important.
I couldn't agree more. The last question I'm going to ask you, I've started a playlist, the Scale Her Up playlist on Spotify, and it's a list of tunes that the women that I'm interviewing and the people in my community are saying, this is a song that really lifts me up. This is a tune that I play when I'm needing to get pumped up. The one that, yeah. Do you have a tune that you would like to add to that playlist?
Oh, gosh. I wish you'd given me some notice of this. I've got
it's just you.
Nice. I'm going to have to look up the name because I'll get the name of the song wrong. But the song that always makes me feel joyful is by Eurythmics. And I'm not going to sing it to you, don't panic. But it's the song, I think, it's about an angel. Not helpful, is it? Must be talking to, there must be an angel.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the start of that where she just does this, and if you can listen to that and not feel joy, there's something very significantly wrong with you. So yeah, that's that. As my go-to makes me feel happy song.
I love it. Thank you. And it's not on the list already. So
there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then I'll be sharing the list on social media probably before the video goes out. So Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time today. I could talk to you all day. Maybe I'll get you on again sometime.
I've had such a nice time. Thank you very much. Really enjoyed it.
And thank you to you, the listeners, for listening to Scale Her Up. If you enjoyed this episode, follow the show and leave a review. It helps more female business owners find us. Come and join our Scale Her Up Facebook community to get support, accountability, and connection with women who get it. And remember, only 1 in 3 UK entrepreneurs are female, and men are still 5 times more likely to scale their business beyond £1 million in turnover than women. When we start and scale our businesses to the same extent as men, we'll add £250 billion to the UK economy and create millions of jobs. So ladies, you can do it, and your business can make a massive difference.